Dangerous thing you can say to a narcissist is not loud, emotional, or dramatic. It is calm, it is steady, and it feels final. The moment those words are spoken, they understand that they no longer have access to you. There is a single sentence that can instantly remove their power, not because it wounds them, but because it deprives them. It takes away the supply they depend on. Most people never fully understand why this works. Narcissists are not scared of being exposed. They are not frightened by anger or raised voices. They are not even afraid of being disliked. What they truly fear is becoming irrelevant. They fear losing their emotional hold over you. Their survival depends on reactions. Confusion keeps them active. Guilt keeps you tied. Hope keeps you waiting. Defensiveness keeps the cycle running. This is how control stays alive. When you argue back, they feel important. When you explain yourself, they feel powerful. When you try to be understood, they feel necessary. The moment you stop feeding this system, something inside them shifts. They begin to feel unstable because they can no longer predict you, and unpredictability feels like danger to a narcissist. If this connects with you, pause for a moment and notice how calm clarity feels in your body compared to emotional chaos. Stay present with that feeling. Calm clarity feels grounded. Emotional chaos feels draining. Learning to protect your peace, set quiet limits, and reclaim your sense of self does not require approval or validation from anyone else. Many people assume that narcissists are intimidated by strength, confidence, or direct confrontation. In truth, confrontation rarely frightens them. Often, it does the opposite. When you argue, defend yourself, or try to prove your point, you are still engaging on their terms. You are still inside a dynamic they understand and know how to control. A narcissist's sense of stability comes from control. Control over conversations, emotional responses, stories, and outcomes. As long as they can predict how you will react, they feel safe. Even anger works in their favor because it confirms influence. If they can provoke you, confuse you, or pull you into explaining yourself, they remain in charge of the emotional environment. Losing control, however, is different. It removes their leverage. When they can no longer steer your emotions or trap you in circular conversations, their usual tactics stop working. This is deeply unsettling for them because their self-image depends on being the dominant force in every interaction. Without that dominance, they feel exposed and unsure of themselves. This is why calm disengagement is far more effective than confrontation. When you stop reacting emotionally, stop correcting their version of events, and stop trying to be understood, the balance of power changes. You are no longer playing the game, and a game with only one player cannot continue. What matters most is understanding that loss of control does not come from dramatic exits or long speeches. It comes from consistency, saying less, explaining less, repeating yourself less, following through quietly. Each time you respond with clarity instead of emotion, you reinforce the message that their influence is limited. From the outside, this may look simple. You might decline a conversation without justifying it. You might end an interaction without raising your voice. You might state a boundary once and then act in alignment with it. These moments may seem small, but to a narcissist, they signal something important. They are no longer directing your behavior. This is also why narcissists often escalate when they sense control slipping away. They may provoke guilt, increase criticism, or dismiss you more harshly. This does not come from confidence. It comes from panic. Escalation is an attempt to pull you back into engagement. The mistake many people make is matching that escalation with intensity of their own. Calm, steady behavior communicates far more power than confrontation ever could. It sends a clear message without words. It says, "You do not decide how I respond." And that message, repeated over time, is what truly unsettles a narcissist. Not anger, not arguments, but your quiet independence. Anger is often mistaken for strength. When dealing with a narcissistic person, it can feel natural to believe that showing frustration or standing your ground emotionally will finally make them listen. But anger rarely creates real change in this dynamic. More often, it gives them exactly what they want. Narcissistic behavior feeds on emotional energy. Strong reactions, whether anger, sadness, or urgency, signal involvement. They show that the interaction still matters deeply to you. That emotional investment gives the narcissist leverage. When they see your emotions rise, they know they can still affect you. That sense of impact reinforces their sense of control. Emotional neutrality removes that reinforcement. It is not coldness and it is not indifference. It is the absence of emotional charge. When you respond calmly without visible frustration or urgency, you stop providing feedback they can use. There is nothing for them to push against, twist, or escalate. This is why neutrality often feels uncomfortable at first. Many people are taught that emotional intensity equals honesty or courage. In reality, neutrality is a regulated state. It reflects self-control, clarity, and inner boundaries. You are still present, but you are not reactive. From a narcissist's perspective, this shift is destabilizing. They rely on emotional cues to adjust their behavior and maintain dominance. When those cues disappear, they lose information. They can no longer tell whether their strategies are working. This uncertainty creates discomfort because predictability is essential to their sense of control. Neutral responses also change the pace of interactions. Narcissists often move quickly. They pressure others to react before there is time to think. Calm, measured replies slow everything down. When you pause, speak evenly, or choose not to respond at all, you disrupt the rhythm they depend on. Emotional neutrality does not mean silence in every situation. It can include clear statements, firm limits, or decisions, but delivered without emotional weight. Tone matters as much as words. A neutral tone communicates that you are not seeking approval, validation, or resolution through emotional exchange. Over time, this approach changes how you are perceived. You are no longer an easy emotional target. A narcissist may test you again and again, trying to provoke a reaction. This is where consistency matters more than perfection. You do not need to be flawless. Each neutral response reinforces the same message. Emotional manipulation will not work here. Eventually, the effort becomes exhausting for them. And while they may not admit it, the loss of emotional